Actually, there is somebody in the news that maybe is actually over sexualizing and causing, actually being accused of sexual misconduct when it might actually be true. And that is the person named Marilyn Manson. And Marilyn Manson's in the news right now because, he's been accused before by multiple women about sexually abusing them already, right? Well, there's another sexual abuse lawsuit that was filed by an anonymous Jane Doe that came out. And she was saying that back in September of 95, he invited her to his tour bus. She was 16 years old. He sexually abused her, and then he told her, "Get the fuck out of my bus." But the weird thing here too is, I guess his manager gave her a personal number to contact, and then he was still hassling this girl and got her to come back again to another show in December of 95 and again abused her again. And this whole thing has been happening, and they're saying that he was grooming her, and that's in the news right now. It's well, that's actually something that's bad that's happening. And on top of that, he's already had 4 women that have sued him for this. And 2 of them lawsuits were dismissed and 1 settled. And he's actually filed a defamation lawsuit against Evan Rachel Wood, who said that he was abusing her too. So there's a lot with Marilyn Manson in the world. And this is actually someone that, could be causing sexual problems in the workforce. Not Sam Smith. But this is what the lawyers were kind of saying about what happened with that person, Jane Doe, on that bus.
The defendant, Warner, who is Marilyn Manson, performed various acts of criminal sexual conduct upon the plaintiff, who was a virgin at the time, including but not limited to forced copulation and vaginal penetration. The lawsuit,
Woof.
which Insider obtained from Doe's lawyer, says.
Woof. But I'm saying, there's things like this happening, which, maybe he's not guilty, but you have this many people coming out already and, coming out woodwork constantly about it. So maybe he's not guilty, but it seems like there's more of a situation here to be worried about than Sam Smith doing a music video. That's all I'm saying, right? Sabrina, you saw this. What do you think? Do you think that, and this is again, Marilyn Manson, he's a product of rock and roll. He's a product of the whole world. He's been this for years and years and years. Still alive, still thriving.
Don't blame that shit on rock and roll.
I'm just saying he's also a person that's still present and alive, and there's a lot of problems. Again, a musician. Do you think that so right now you're saying it's not rock and roll's influence, it's just the man himself that's the person, the problem, right?
Well, yeah, I think there's, obviously in the profession of being a rock star, there's going to be a lot of situations that arise, that you have access to that other people don't have access to. There are underage girls throwing themselves at you regularly. They're called groupies. It happens. But for you to bring someone onto your bus, assault them, and then tell them to get the fuck out of your bus, it's definitely inappropriate behavior and not fucking okay. Just because you're in those situations doesn't mean that you have to take advantage of them in any way, shape, or fucking form. And also, aside from these people that have come out and said that he assaulted them, Evan Rachel Wood was with him for 4.5 years. She was 18 when they started dating. He was 37. That's quite a bit of an age jump, but if you want to put that aside, that's fine. She said that over the period of time, he was grooming her as well. And somehow manipulated her into thinking that these fucked up things were okay that he was doing to her. He whipped her with a Nazi whip, she says. She did a 2-part documentary called The Phoenix Rising. I think back in March or April of this year it came out. And again, he is suing her for defamation. Saying that it's all fabricated and that she faked this FBI letter and all this nonsense. But she said that he constantly was drugging her. He raped her in her sleep. I said he whipped her, that he shocked her private parts. Jeez. He made her drink his blood, and he drank her blood. Some really fucked up shit. Now, you want to be kinky or whatever, that's your business. But when they split up finally, she realized that he had manipulated her and abused her this whole time. Because a lot of times when you're in something, you don't see it. You know what I mean? And then when you step away, you realize the fucking craziness that was going on. And you inadvertently allow it because it's a mental game. It's a woman who is constantly beaten by her husband. And then they come home with flowers and tell you that they love you so fucking much and they're so sorry and they'll never do it again. You know what I mean? It's this weird mental thing that allowed her to keep coming back. But when she got away from it, she realized what the fuck he was doing. And last thing I want to say, I'm sorry for taking so much time here, but one of his assistants, I believe Dan Cleary is his name, corroborated a lot of her story. that he used to hack into her emails and shit. He corroborated that. And he made a statement on Twitter a while back that said, like, and I quote, he broke her. Evan Rachel was talking about Evan Rachel Wood, and that there were many other girls. So I tend to believe that there is some sort of truth to this, unfortunately. And also, I'm sorry, I know I said last thing, one more thing. All the band members have their first name is a supermodel and their second name is a serial killer. So, I mean, that's a little fucking weird. Like Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson. Like, obviously, there's, little something going on there.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've been dealing. I feel like we've been dealing with this for a long time with this Marilyn Manson. Like years. I mean, it's always about him sucking someone's blood. Like,
I know, forever. The boob suit. Remember the boob suit he had?
Like, I mean, okay, is something gonna be done? Like,
I hope so.
Why get with him if you're gonna? Blood.
If that girl's underage and at a Marilyn Manson concert, she loves his music. He invites her on his tour. But of course she's gonna go.
He takes out his ribs so he can suck his own dick. I'd be like, oh, that's a little weird.
That's something that happened.
That's a little weird.
I remember when that happened.
He sucks his own pee-pee. He took his own rib.
Pee-pee.
He sucks his own pee-pee.
Pee-pee. Blue is right here. I have to use pee-pee. I can't say penis or dick.
Teach their own, Chris. Teach their own. That's something that he likes. That's something that he likes. But the thing is, you can't be abusing women. You can't be abusing. This girl's 16, and they're saying the same shit. The same shit that Evan Rachel Wood's saying, that they're being groomed, they're being used, they're being abused. They're told to be fuck off, and then told you're great, and then fuck it, then fuck off. It's not good, So that's the problem here. And if he's doing that, and there's a trend, then if there's a trend, then more than likely it's real. That's just kind of how it goes. And the court of law will prove that or not, of course,
But I've been hearing this story for years. I'm like,
for years.
What's going on?
Yeah. I don't know.
I really hope that something happens and that he has to, face the music here. It's insane that nothing has been done.
I do too. I hope that now this is coming out, another person, of course they're not saying their name. Hopefully they go after him and there's justice. And we don't need this in the world. We just don't need people like this. They don't need these problems. Now, of course, if it was false, that's one thing, but this really points to being true. We'll find out when more details come out with this one too, but the fact that it's been popping up more and more and more, you never know, right? So I just worry for people's safety.
Question.
What did Lexi say?
That his sexuality isn't into question. I don't think anybody said that it was. Did somebody?
Yeah.
I didn't talk. No, did I bring
yeah. No, yeah, it's not his sexuality. It's just the allegations itself. They shouldn't be. If that's what's happening, if he's actually doing something to groom people, that's not good. That's the big problem here. Whatever he's doing, it's his own business. But if it affects somebody else, that's a problem. Whatever he's doing in his private life is his private life, and he should be able to do whatever he wants. But when it comes to somebody else's life, he can't be forcing himself on somebody else. You can't. That's just not right. It should be, doesn't matter who you are, any kind of person, it doesn't matter, That's a hard line. So hopefully that if this is what happened, there's justice for these women, and if it didn't happen, then there should be justice for him. That's just how the world works. But to me, it just seems like there's something off here and something wrong. But we'll see what happens with this.
Something off.